Hi, this is Alan Schimmel, DevOps.com, here at DevOps Enterprise 2015. I have two guests with me here. To my immediate left, I have Todd DeLaughter.
That's right.
And to his left, we have John Gildenzoph.
Perfect.
Okay, well, I passed the first test. John is actually with Task, and John presented today, along with Atomic, on some of the things that Task has been doing along their own DevOps journey with the help of Atomic solutions and services. So John, we're going to start with you. First of all, not all of our viewers may be familiar with Task, so why don't we start with that?
Good. Task, we're the nation's largest owned TPA, basically a third-party benefit administrator for companies the size with one employee up to thousands of employees, managing their employee benefits. I've been working with Task since about 2011, so about 4 years now, and yeah, really a lot of progressive type action, especially in the technology sector, with providing tools for our end customers for managing their benefits.
Great. And presentation today, your session today, what was that on?
So we talked a lot for an hour today with folks here at the conference about how to kind of leverage that automation in driving improvement through processes, not only in our deployment cycle, but in our development cycle, in our testing cycle, and really kind of pushing that DevOps mentality throughout all of our areas in our technology department. Spent a lot of time just talking about what we did personally and the tools that we used, and really how Atomic was a crucial part of that.
And how was Atomic a crucial part of that?
So we really used the Atomic tool as what I like to call an orchestrator. Not really a kind of a worker, kind of really using it to leverage other kind of best-in-class type of technologies in an automated fashion to, basically drive that process. So using it to interact with, some of the products we use are Jenkins, and using it with our private cloud, Amazon. Really leveraging the technology to interact across multiple platforms, and it gives us that ability to kind of be platform agnostic, to be able to work with the best tools out there for the job that we need it to do. And yeah, I mean, we leverage that technology across all of those cycles.
Excellent. Todd, let me turn to you. I'm obviously sitting here listening to a customer say nice things about your
wonderful
company product. It doesn't stink, as they say. Absolutely. But beyond just presenting here along with Task, Atomic is also a sponsor at the DevOps Enterprise Summit. And as the CEO of Atomic, which is a fairly decent sized solutions provider, give me some of the thought behind why sponsor this event. There are so many events out there.
Yeah, well, this community, I think, is a community that's going to drive significant change in how business can deliver to their end customers. And we think of DevOps as a piece of that chain. It's not the end, it's really the part that says how businesses become more agile. So in and of itself, it's interesting, but in that bigger context of how it can help businesses to actually deliver in a more agile way, we think this community is key in driving that change. And we've seen it come together and actually form as a community. So John was doing DevOps before it was called DevOps. He was DevOps before it was cool.
Right.
And now it's not only cool, but it's actually hit the mainstream.
Yeah, it's mainstream. and I, at a show like that, that's exactly what at a show like this is what we're seeing. Right, we're seeing household names of companies and their CIOs. Some of them using Atomic.
Well, and you'll see one of our customers we just closed and went live with is Walmart.
Really?
And they're here. So my goal for next year is to get Walmart on stage with us.
That would be something we would like to interview here.
And
again, as a CEO, Todd, What do you think of the quality of the presentations of the presenters at the show compared to other shows you've been to?
Well, this has been good, and what I love about it is that at this point, DevOps as a movement has started to become DevOps in execution mode. So you have presentations and then even questions from participants wanting to know in detail, how do I do it? Show me how I execute. I'm a believer, I've drunk the Kool-Aid, I'm in the process, now show me how to not fail at it, to be successful.
Absolutely.
And I love that we're at this spot, because as a vendor, that's where you also now start to look at the tools you need, and that's where we come into the picture.
Absolutely. What do you think the future holds for this, for DevOps, for Atomic perhaps?
Yeah. Well, so for DevOps, I do think that it's an interesting thing at this conference. It seems that there's almost a developer bias, even though it's a DevOps conversation, and there's a push-pull in there where I think there's two parts. There's two partners in that, and operations is still and will be an increasingly valuable part of the equation, because you cannot ever get to a point where you'll just develop to a stage where you can roll into deployment production without having that ops team. So what I will look forward to in the next events is a little bit more on the ops side of the equation. People from the operations side, Jenkins, Puppet, Chef, all of that's cool, but what about the guy on the ops side who has to pick it up and roll it out? I'd like to see that balance, because I think that's the real world, right?
I agree. I've heard it put in a similar fashion that this first phase of DevOps has been a dev-led DevOps. And now we're ready for an IT ops-led DevOps, and maybe that is the next stage here.
Yeah, I like that. Can I steal that?
Sure. Yeah, no problem. What about Atomic? What do you see as the future going forward?
Well, so we're traditionally a business automation vendor. We automate in the infrastructure at application level and business processes. But this space of DevOps for us, we do application release automation, is our hottest growing category. We'll grow 250, 300% this year alone. So we're going to ride that wave, and then what we see going forward is it becomes how you target workloads to more complex environments, to cloud, hybrid cloud. It's not just rolling out an application, it's knowing where the best spot to deploy that app is to get the best results, much as Task is doing. Looking at the type of cloud infrastructure and being able to use containers to move those workloads very flexibly. So I think we go from being able to automate the app rollout to being able to automate the apps at the right location and the right infrastructure at the right cost and the right service level. That's the next stage for our customers.
John, do you agree with that sort of vision?
Absolutely. I mean, provisioning, providing that as a service, like infrastructure as a service, everything. I mean, that's what we're kind of doing already, and it's kind of like what we ran into with the last iteration when you guys hit ARA. We had already implemented ARA, and then they just made it easier for us to continue with that development. And now we're seeing, we're doing some automated provisioning for infrastructure, and right in line with that, we're starting to see some of the, being able to utilize some of the stuff that you guys are coming out with.
So if you keep doing cool stuff, we'll keep building products behind it.
Yeah, it's perfect, and it's right down the line too.
That sounds like the Atomic vision, right? You build cool, you want to do cool stuff, we'll build the products.
There's nothing better than following market-leading customers.
Yeah, I've been there myself, absolutely. Anyway, we're just about out of time, but John and Todd, Atomic and Task, thank you for joining us. Thank you for sponsoring DevOps Enterprise on behalf of IT Revolution, Electric Cloud, and DevOps.com.
Absolutely. Thank you, Alan.
Thank you.
Thank you, John. Thank you for presenting.
Nice to meet you.
This is Alan Schimmel for DevOps.com.